Hi, welcome to Redefining Rach. My name is Rachel and I am redefining the story of my life. I'm here to share the lessons and the stories that I'm learning along the way, and I just want to help you overcome those obstacles and fight those demons that get in the way of you trying to create a better version of your life. Today I'm sharing some lessons that I've learned since losing a parent. On August the 22nd, 2018, I found out that my mum passed away. This was through a text message. I literally remember how it happened. I was giving myself self-wax. I was just there stripping away, and I just got the text message. And it just said, "Mummy just died." It was 10:07. We'll never forget that. Just seeing the text written, "Mummy just died." I literally threw my phone. I did not know what to do. I did not know what to say. It was just crazy. Mum wasn't in the country. She was in Nigeria. It was 4 days before my son's first birthday. So my friends had made plans to come over and help me decorate the house for my son's birthday. But that night, I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. We still had to continue planning on the party because obviously it was my son's first birthday. People were going to come. So, I just did as much as I could and tried to be normal as I could. My mum had been unwell for a few years, but I was expecting to pick her up from the airport the week later. She was supposed to come back the week before, but she extended her stay. And you're expecting to pick up your mum. You're not expecting to find out that she's not actually going to make it. It was 4 months before that we had gone to drop her off at the airport. And, I kind of had this feeling, I had this feeling inside me that, this might be the last time that I see my mum in real life. But my partner was just don't do that to yourself. Don't put yourself through that, that feeling. It's not happened. So when it actually happened that she really did pass away, I don't even know how I felt. I don't even know what happened in that moment. I just know that my life changed forever on that day. And this is what this video is about. It's such a complicated thing. It's such a confusing thing. It's a world that you could never imagine, or even if you do imagine it, when it does happen, it's not like you imagine, and it's just crazy. So I'm here to share some of the lessons that I've learned, and I just hope that I can help someone who is going through the same thing. The first lesson that I want to share is that people may not know how to act around you. This may be your friends, this may be your family, this may be your work colleague. Someone dying on you is a really difficult place to be for you, but it's also difficult for the people around you. They don't know what to say to you. They don't know that if they say something to you, it might be the wrong thing that they say. It might trigger an emotion. They're really tiptoeing around you and walking on eggshells. They literally don't know what to do. So they might just say nothing. They might just avoid the whole thing. And if you look like you're handling it well, they might be like, okay, yeah, she's handling it well. This is something that in hindsight, I have realized that I would advise someone to do different. If you need the help, if you need the support, if you need to cry, if you need to just talk about how you're feeling, if you need someone to acknowledge you for what you're feeling or what you're going through, do not be afraid to say it, because people don't know. It may be that they wanted to say something around you, but they just weren't sure. So being around them, you might even give them relief by speaking about it, and they know that, okay, she's okay to speak about it. I really wanted to give you a hug, Rachel, but I just didn't know that if I gave you a hug, it might just set you off and you might not want to be set off. So this is my lesson. This is something that I've learned, that people don't know how to act around you. It's loss. Some people may have not lost someone, and they might just not know what to do. And for some people, they might not know how to handle your emotions if you were to burst out of your emotions. So they really just don't know what to do. They're just so confused. So it's not to take offense to your friends and your family if they don't know how to be there for you. I know sometimes, for me especially, I felt that my friends could have known, or my family or other people that were around me could have known to maybe give me a hug, or maybe do something that would just take my mind off of it, or relieve me of my duty of being a mum, just so that I can just be. But because I looked like I was okay, because I looked like I was fine, I didn't say anything, I was just, continuing on with it. They didn't know to do that. The second lesson that I've learned is there's no guidebook. There's no rule book. There is no right way to grieve. You might not even know that you're grieving. If you've never grieved before, if you've never lost someone before, you can't even imagine what you're going to feel. You don't know how grieving may manifest for you. For me, the weirdest thing that happened for me was I became scared of the dark in my own house. It was terrifying. It was so traumatizing for me. I was scared to just look in the corner, look in the dark corners, be in the dark, like just look out the window, like out the door and see the dark space. I think because my mum died in another country, I don't know whether I thought she was going to come and visit me, but I don't even know why that scared me and not comforted me. But I don't know, whatever it was so scary. And I just remembered thinking, am I always going to be scared in this house? I don't know what to do about this. I don't know how to stop being scared. Obviously now that's not the case anymore. It's gone. I don't know when it went, but I'm so grateful that it went. But this is what I mean, like it can manifest in a way that you might not even know. Some people might turn to drinking. Some people might have like extreme depression. Grieving is very, very different for every individual, and you'll never know. Like there is no list of ways that you can grieve. It just is what it is. But I would just say, allow yourself to process your thoughts, allow yourself to process your feelings so that you can help yourself during that time. Allow yourself to express the grieving in whatever a way that means for you. Like I said before, you might not even know that you're grieving. I don't even know if I've grieved. I just know that a lot of weird things happened in that time for me. I just know that I don't even know if I was depressed, but I know that for another thing for me was I wasn't able to be there for myself. I was able to start a business and do things for other people, and sort of transform that pain and that feeling and that grief into something else. But as for myself, I didn't give myself attention. Something as simple as like taking pictures or looking nice and feeling nice, I didn't bother. I did not put any effort into like what I felt like and what that looked like. I was just focused on working, like working on myself, working on the business. I excluded the sort of compassionate, loving sort of side, if you get what I mean. Really confusing because like on one hand, yes, I spent so much more time with myself than I ever had. I was growing, I was learning, I was spending time like just doing lots of research. But the normal sort of love level, compassionate, being there for me and feeling myself, I didn't do that. So grieving can manifest in so many different ways. There is no rule book. And the most difficult thing about grieving is even if you have loads of people around you, even if you have therapy, even if you have people acknowledging your feelings and people, you know, coming and being there around you, helping you with different things, you are the only one that can help yourself get out of it. You are the only one that can bring yourself up from this and decide what you're going to do with your life, decide if you're going to get over depression, decide if you're going to move through it, decide what you're going to do about it. This is only you that can do this job. It's the most difficult thing to do because again, there's no guidebook, but it's down to you. Another thing that I learned through going through such a difficult stage in my life is that there is so much emotion and energy that goes into having to deal with loss. For me, it was literally like a tumble dryer, literally like just going and going and going and going and going from every different direction, just getting tumbled left, right, up, down, all round and round. And in that one time, I had anger, I had depression in a sense, I had joy out of little moments and things that were happening, you know, watching my son grow, having my partner, doing little projects and doing little things amongst ourselves. We were going from happiness to sadness, to anger, to confusion, to guilt, to blame. For some of us that have lost someone, we might feel guilty. And guilt is such a strong feeling. For me, I felt guilty for so many different things. At the time, my mum had been saying that she wanted to come back to London. It was impossible for her to come back to London because of how sick she was. But she was saying that she wanted to come and she wanted me to get it done within like 2-3 days. She ended up dying within those 2-3 days. It was something that I genuinely could not do, but I felt guilt for it. Like, oh, could I have done more? She had been annoying me a few days before. She had been going through a really funky stage at that time where she was just being mean. And obviously she knew that she was coming to the end of her life. I didn't know that she was coming to the end of my life. I have a almost 1-year-old. I have life. I have I'm a partner. You know, I have my partner. I'm trying to do all of these things at once. And then I kept on having her, you know, like get at me for different things. I was going through my own emotions and, you know, she was being mean. This made me feel guilty. Like, oh, you know, if I had known that she was doing this, all these different things, all these different emotions come up when you're dealing with the loss of someone, things that you could have done, things that you should have said, you know, oh, I should have done this or I should have videoed this moment. there is so much emotions that go through, and it's so strong that I would say that the one lesson that I've learned is use that emotion and transform it into passion, transform it into love, transform it into something that you can do for yourself. Because for me, I kind of see it as, if that had never happened to me, if I'd never gone through something that would bring so much different emotions and so much different energy in one time, my life would have probably just gone like this. Things are just going well, it's going in order. But this happened and it made my life do this. And in that time, it's like, for most people, or for people that maybe don't go through something like that, there's not going to be a time where there's so much of this happening at one time. For me, in a weird way, I found myself lucky to have gone through that much emotion, that much energy at one time. I just think that it's our opportunity to transform that adversity into passion, to transform that adversity into something that you can give to the world, something that you can give to yourself, something that can make you just go, no matter whatever it takes. So this is one thing that I've learned, that when you face adversity, yes, it's a horrible thing to happen. It's a why me? Like, why does this have to be me? But instead of it being a why me, it's what can I use from this? How can I use this to do for me? How can I use this to turn my life around? How can I use this to give to the world? How can I use this to go after all the desires that I've never been brave enough to go after? This is what I have done, and I'm telling you, it's the most fulfilling thing. It makes it, in a weird way, it sounds really crazy for me to say this, but it makes it all worth it, because no one can have the drive and the passion that I have, because that energy is still there. I'm transforming that. Every time I have a memory of my mum, every time I remember how sad, how depressed, how lonely I was in that time, I'm like, well, this is my reason for going for myself. This is my reason why I have to make this work for myself. And it just probably would not have happened if something so big did not happen for me. So don't go searching for adversity. But if it is to happen to you, find a way to turn that and transform that into you, into building you, into creating something for you. The final lesson that I want to share is for parents. If you are a parent, if you are a mum, if you are a dad, please look after your health. I cannot stress this enough. Prioritize your health, prioritize your well-being, prioritize your joy, prioritize your happiness, prioritize choosing you. It is so important for your children. I don't think it's fair that my mum has left me at such an early stage of my life. She could have lived so many more years. She could have seen so many more things. We could have had so many more memories. But her health, in the last 2 years of her life, that's when I saw her going and forgetting everything that she had spent my whole life dedicating herself to. And she was just going for herself, going for her desires, doing what she had wanted to do. It was too late. She only had just over 2 years to do that, but she could have done that for the 20-something years of her life that I was living. It would have been so amazing for me to witness her going and choosing herself first. It would have been so amazing for me to continue having these birthdays, be able to send her a message and say, look what your grandson is doing. I just want to use this opportunity to say, you are important. You are important to your children. Choosing you is a very important decision that you can make for your children, so that you can be there for your children when they are older. When you're young, your body can withstand all the nonsense that you give to it. If you're pushing yourself to the limit, if you're not prioritizing your health, your body can do that. Your body can just get on with it and just go on with it. But you do get to a stage where your body can't do that anymore. Your body just cannot handle it. And all those years of abuse, all those years of neglect catch up to you. I don't want this to happen for you. I don't want your children to have to witness what I witnessed for my mum. I don't want your children to have to stop their lives to help you when it's something that you could have prevented all these years before. It's so important. Like, I want your children to be able to have a happy life with you as they get older, to do their thing and you watch them do their thing and you have great health and be there with them. So please, this is one lesson that I've learned. This is one lesson that I am dedicating the rest of my life to. Choosing me, looking after me so that I can be the best version of myself. For my partner, for my child and my children to come. I want to be the best version of myself, and I want you to be the best version of yourself, because you were created as a gift to this world. Let's make sure we treat ourselves like we are. I hope that this has helped you. Please comment if you can relate to any of the things that I've said or you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love for you to join me in the next video.